Selling a home in a 55 and older community has always come with a unique set of challenges, but recently I've been seeing some additional issues that are causing buyers to back out. So in this video, I'll break down the top 3 challenges that buyers are facing when trying to purchase a home in a senior community. Hi, my name is Casey, and I'm a realtor here in Corona. And in the past, I've recorded several videos about the challenges that seniors face when selling a home in a 55 and older community. And all of the items in these videos are still relevant. But recently, I'm starting to see some additional challenges that are hurting the housing market. And these 3 issues are definitely making it harder to sell a home in the senior communities here in Corona. And I have a feeling it's hurting senior communities across the country too. So let me show you what those 3 items are. The challenge number 1, HOA fees. One of the biggest complaints I hear from buyers looking at 55 and older communities are the HOA fees. And while these fees cover the amenities and the maintenance for the community, they can be a sticking point for many buyers. But remember, most seniors live on a fixed income, so this added cost of an HOA fee can be a deal breaker when they're buying a home. Now here in Corona, typical HOA fees range between $300 and $400 per month, so a buyer has to factor this into their expenses if they're thinking about buying a home. But with the high cost of homes already here in California, the added cost of an HOA fee can really push a senior's budget. And a high HOA fee can make it harder to sell a home. But at the end of the day, this issue really comes down to personal preference. Now, some people don't mind paying an HOA fee because of the amenities they get in return, but others prefer not to have an added cost of an HOA fee while in retirement. Challenge number 2, special assessment taxes and Mello-Roos taxes. Now, this is something that many buyers overlook, but you can't forget about property taxes. And in many senior communities, property taxes can eat up a big part of their budget. Now, when you buy a home here in California, you have to pay property taxes. So most homeowners here are familiar with it. But in many of the newer communities, you often have the added expense of taxes called special assessments or Mello-Roos taxes. And these are taxes that are used to pay for the community's infrastructure. So things like fire stations, police stations, parks, roads, and access to utilities and public services. But these taxes are added on top of your base property taxes and can add several $1,000s to your tax bill. And there's an additional tax that almost everyone forgets about, and that's the supplemental tax. Now, when a property changes hands here in California, the new homeowner has to pay an additional tax that's based on the difference between the previous assessed value of the home and the new assessed value. And this bill comes separate from your annual property tax bill. And if the value of the home is increased significantly, this supplemental tax bill can cost a buyer several $1,000s. And I can tell you that I am seeing a lot of buyers starting to pull back from communities with high special assessment taxes. So this issue is making it more difficult to sell a home in these communities. And finally, challenge number 3, the rising cost of homeowners insurance. Now right now, one of the most talked about issues here in California is the skyrocketing cost of homeowners insurance. The risk and losses from recent wildfires has caused many insurance companies to stop issuing new policies in our area. So if you're trying to sell a home, this can create a huge obstacle for potential buyers. And we're seeing a lot of deals go into escrow only to be canceled because the buyer can't get homeowners insurance, or the cost of getting this insurance is so high they simply can't afford the house anymore. And I am seeing this one firsthand. In fact, I've had 4 different buyers in the past 6 months change their mind about buying a home here because of the high cost of insurance. So the reality is, this issue is hurting the housing market, and it's definitely making it harder to sell a home. So how do you overcome these challenges if you're trying to sell a home in a senior community? Well, I found that preparation and transparency can really help. It helps put the buyer in a position to make a good financial decision, and it gives them the confidence to move forward. Now, like I mentioned earlier, most people looking for a home in a senior community know there's going to be an HOA fee. So make sure the buyer has the actual cost of the HOA fee. But go a step further and find out if there's been any significant rate increases in the past few years. This information can put a buyer's mind at ease. And the same applies when it comes to property taxes. If your community has special assessments or Mello-Roos taxes, let the buyer know so they can factor this into their budget right up front. And on the flip side, if your home doesn't have special assessments, make sure you're mentioning it when you're marketing your home. This is a big cost savings for a buyer, and you definitely want to point it out to potential buyers looking in your neighborhood. But the homeowners insurance issue is a tough one, especially right now. But the reality is, there are companies that still insure homes here. So do some research and find out which companies are willing to provide insurance. Providing this information to buyers gives them options and can help them find the best deals. So if you're thinking about selling your home in a 55 and older community, it can definitely be challenging. But if you want to sell your home, or if you actually need to sell your home, you still can. You just need to be prepared and have a good plan in place. So if you have any questions or you need some help to get started, you can give me a call at the number up on the screen, and I'll do everything I can to help.